Yeah, guys, it's me again. Sorry, I gotta stay here until the mommy and dog sleep so I can get my work done, whatever that work is. And yeah, I've been trying to keep track of stuff, and it's been driving me crazy. It's about 1:29 at night, and it's Sunday morning. I've heard about Walmart giving a fiscal and a verbal bird to the guy causing all of our tariff issues left and right. And I've been hearing the go back between people who are trying to understand the markets concerning about Walmart, and I haven't, as of yet, come across anybody else who worked over at Walmart to discuss what's it mean for them. I'm sorry about the darkness, but I'm trying to deal with the dog who needs to go to sleep. So, I used to work there. I used to work there about a decade or some chance ago, from 87, actually from 2007 through 2012, until I got injured on the job over there and they threw my ass out. That being said, seeing 5 years of work over there, I understand one point of view concerning about working over at Walmart, and that was lack of pay. There had been employees when I was working over there. I don't know, they're probably still now. They've been under state aid, food stamps. They can get a paycheck, but they can't get enough to earn themselves out of it. And they do their shopping at Walmart, or maybe another bulk player, another bulk store to get their finances that way. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Lighting still sucks. Yeah, I was on food stamps. I had to complete the paperwork and send the things over to GR all the time. And still use the food stamps to get groceries at Walmart. I never kept track, and I should have, of the how much our store was making individually and what our major competitors were. Which means our other stores still in the same company. We had about 4 stores of Walmart in the Antelope Valley, California. And what I was working with is the one at Palmdale Boulevard, right next to the 14 freeway, Antelope Valley area. Antelope Valley Mall area. We had another one up on 47 and S. We had another one out somewhere in Lancaster. 2 different positions, one on the east end and the other one right by the 14 freeway on J and 25th area. And these stores would get reputations of either being good, bad, or just basically rotten as hell. In the times I was working over there, we were working on rotten as hell, but they were still working on the reputations. They were also concerned about how much sales they were going to be generating because it also meant people getting more hours to work more hours to get more pay. In the area that I worked in, garden department, just as a cashier for first year, I'd seen a lot of merchandise coming through. Christmas sales were hot and heavy. By getting into the automotive department, that was the toughest area to work in. I worked behind the sales counter for the remaining 4 years of my tour of duty over there. And it was my job to ring up and to sell tires. And if people needed oil services, then we sell them other things go along with it too. Me and automotive products were just galaxy differences, and yet I had to pull it. I had to do it. Now, if we actually had tariffs during that time, we would have been closing out one of the stores out in the Antelope Valley. There was always talk about trying to expand another store, um, put it in another place. They kept talking about maybe doing a Walmart out in Tehachapi. I think they still got one up in Tehachapi. Maybe within the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. They had talked about getting one out in Quartz Hills. Quartz Hills was sandwiched, well, actually, it was too damn close to some of the other Lancaster stores, including J and 25th. I mean, they had a mileage limit on where they wanted to place their uh, mega stores at, the super centers. Local grocery centers, different story altogether, but they had this one, wanted to be right across the street from a high school. A high school. Terrific. She must be obeyed, is fussing more and more. All right. If the tariffs happened to hit while I was working over there, I may have lost a job. Our store was struggling for how much they can get in just to keep alive. And they tried struggling with different gimmicks here and there. But it was mostly for what the customers needed and want, and if they could get their merchandise without ripping us off left and right. And sometimes the sales weren't all that hip, and other times we actually did have them. It was just basically a day by day struggle with whichever department is working out with. Is the tariffs a good thing? Never a good thing. Never a good thing at this point. Was Trump right? No, he wasn't. The tariffs are taxes on people on top of the prices we're paying right now as it is. And you're stuck on a low wage income. It's not good. It's not good. Out here in Roseman, I have a grocery store, and I have a smaller market that picks up the slack if Albertsons happens to show some low shelves, low volume in the shelves, including produce or meats or dairy products. The other store tries to cover up for it. Besides that, we got a smaller mom and pop um, in the residential areas, like a one central corridor that's a business section of Old Town Roseman. They're struggling for survival. We have Dollar Generals. We have we have a Family Dollar stores. I guess we got about 3 or 4 of those that are still struggling like crazy. Now, granted, some of the food they've got over there is, yes, less expensive, expired maybe, but they're still selling it anyway. At least the canned stuff. They're trying to make a profit as much as they can. Tariffs hit us all in every aspect. Gas prices go funky. Material that we order online is being charged more and more. I'm seeing the price increases on those. Even when you try to do services that one cannot get to other places to, the prices are jumping slightly, but they're increasing there. On the one particular service that I'm using right now, if I happen to spend about $75, most of the fees I'm paying for would be gone. That means I have to do calculations in my head. You see, um, taking out the tariffs, I have to look at the limited income I have every month. I have to look at the bills I've got and do the subtractions in my head. Then take the balance and start dividing on how many days I've got left until the next time the money comes in. Being on a fixed income, being dependent upon the kindness of strangers or lunatics running to Social Security. Yeah. I know I have a set limit and set days for how much money I've got. And those are the things I have to worry about. And every 3 or 4 days, I'm constantly doing the figuring what I've got left to pay, who's going to be partial and who's going to be full. But whatever balance I've got left, I have to divide that and see how many days I've got for food. How many days are going to be costing me for food? Sometimes it's about 15, 20 if I'm lucky enough. If I shortchange myself on a few other bills, maybe I get about $25 a day. Then I start calculating. Every time I do a DoorDash, it's about every 3 or 4 days. So within that window, I get a fixed amount what I'm looking at. I keep the amount in my head all the time, and I still have to put it down one way or another just to see it in front of me. Look at the calendar, look at the money, start doing a calculator a bit on it. I was never fond of math. I was never fond of higher math. I've been doing higher math for a long while. I'm not fond of it. I just use it. Is the tariffs going to be that much of a hassle to everybody, including me? Yeah. Because the stuff I look at my shopping list every time I go shopping. Doesn't matter if I'm going in there physically or most of the time it's online. But I'm doing this and I'm keeping track of this stuff. I'm looking at the prices. I see the price increase here and I see the price decrease over here. Or the shoppers will tell me that there's stuff in the shelves that aren't there. Not for this time. I'm afraid that bananas, coffee, sugar, 3 major commodities I order all the time, all the time. And then, because of the bird flu situation with the egg prices going up, I have to limit my egg consumption to at least every 4 or 5 days. I'm trying to go through 12 eggs, dozen. Milk hasn't changed all that much, so it's about every two gallons per trip. It's a lot of gallons that goes for myself. Sugar, I don't get at the store because I'm constantly going through online on that one. It's not automatic. It's just every so often. It's like every 1 or 2 months or 3 months, maybe 1 or 2 months. I order another box, and I get my sugar, and hopefully I can stretch it out a little longer. Usually I'm using it for other things, including coffee all the time. And speaking of coffee, I still have to look at how I'm going to be using coffee and what kind of type of coffee I'm going to be using. I mean, if I had a working coffee maker, yeah, I'd get the bulk stuff, and that would last me for some time. But since I'm dealing with circumstances here at home beyond my control, I have to limit my stuff to at least dehydrated, freeze-dried crap, and see what the cheapest brand is. To me, they nearly taste the same, so I don't have a problem with that. If I have to substitute it with tea bags, I'll substitute it with tea bags and see the cheapest route I can go for that one. I like Lipton, but I can get cheaper brand and try to choke that stuff down with a bit of sugar and lemon, or lemon juice actually. The lemon juice is not imported; it's still manufactured here in the States. But tea is overseas, and so is coffee, so is sugar. I have to look at expenses. And it looks like the wind's picking up tonight. So that's my thoughts for tonight. Concerned about this tariff situation. Trump's out of his frickin' mind.